Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be giving you 5 tips to help you become a better disc golfer today. I'm joined by Avi. Hopefully these tips will make you a better disc golfer and you can
Yep.
apply them in your game today. So let's get straight into the video.
All right, getting into tip number 1. My first tip is learning to choose the right disc for the right shot. For example, when I step up to a wide open 250-foot shot, I'm looking for what's going to be the most reliable for me. That's something slow, overstable. I'm looking for what's going to give me the best chance to be in bullseye versus I see some people choosing something super overstable and throwing a big spike hyzer or trying to play the skip or trying to throw a super touchy flip up versus if you just choose what you're most comfortable with on that shot, it'll give you a bigger chance to be in bullseye, therefore save you strokes. And yeah, that's my first tip.
Yeah, it's a good point that if Avi were to step up to a 250-foot wide open hole, he could reach that hole by throwing a number of different shots.
Yep.
Backhand, forehand, lefty, grenade. And like he said, it's important to just pick what is the highest percentage chance for you to get the birdie or for you to get up and down to put the disc in the basket. So everyone's unique. Not everyone can throw as far as Avi, but you know your game. So stick to what's highest percentage and get the job done on the course. All right, guys, for tip number 2, it is to understand landing zones on the disc golf course. Funny enough, the landing zone is a term that is brought up to me a bunch of different times. People struggle to kind of understand where the disc is supposed to land, and most people think that you kind of just want to land under the bucket. However, every single hole in disc golf is not a wide open disc golf shot where you could just aim to park it. A lot of holes have trees in the way, out of bounds, big sloping hills, and so you really want to land the disc in a specific spot so you have a high percentage chance to get a birdie. So let's paint an example. Let's say you're on a hole, a 300-foot hole with a basket sitting on the edge of out of bounds. Your goal, although you naturally want to be able to park it to have an easy birdie, that is a really risky play because let's say you land near the basket and skip to the left out of bounds, you receive a penalty stroke. So a landing zone for that hole would be to land somewhere maybe 30 to 35 feet right of the basket and have it skip to the left and land anywhere 15 to 20 feet right of the basket, safe from the OB. Now that you guys understand the concept of landing zones, hopefully you could take this information, apply it to your game, take it out on the course, test it, and see how many strokes you save and become a better disc golfer today. But that was tip number 2 for this video.
Getting into tip number 3. My third tip is to pick an aiming point. So what I mean by that, I see a lot of beginner and intermediate players aim at a general direction. What I like to do is I like to pick whether it's a branch or a specific part of the tree, try to hit that aiming point on a specific angle, knowing that if I do that, it should come back to the basket just like I want it to. Say you don't have a tree or like something in the direction you're trying to throw it, I like to think of like a hula hoop in the sky, a circle, something like that. So what that does is it basically allows me to pick an aiming point without there being something to aim at. So I like to imagine a hula hoop, say if it's 100, 200 feet away on a 300-foot shot or 300 feet away on a 450-foot shot. I'm trying to hit that circle and fly through the circle on a specific angle. So I'll choose my angle, knowing if I do that, it should come back to the basket and therefore produce a pretty consistent result.
So whether or not you're a beginner, intermediate, or someone struggling with consistently aiming at a specific spot to go land near the basket, you really want to apply these tips out on the course and hopefully it'll save some strokes for you. Let's get into tip number 4. Getting into tip number 4, it is to stay relaxed or loosen up your form on the course. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people that say, I play so much better in practice than I do in the actual competitive round. Whether you're doing side bets with your buddies, you're doing a bag tags day, league day, or an actual tournament, competitive rounds could be frustrating because you're not playing as well as you do in practice. And I think the main reason that is happening to you guys is because you are tense in your throws because there's actually something on the line, there's some sort of pressure, and so you second guess yourself. So what I like to tell people is you really want to be loose with your form. And Trevor and I talked about this in a previous video on whip. And so I think this is an important tip to help increase your driving consistency, whether it be throwing far every time or throwing accurately all the time. Both are very important. And so a cue you guys can use when you're stepping up to every single shot or stepping up to your round with a certain mindset of just trying to be loose and let your body do what it normally does on a daily basis. So hopefully you guys take this tip, apply it on the course, throw better today. Getting into tip number 5, it is to develop a consistent routine before you throw. I can't tell you how many times I've seen beginners, intermediates, people that are playing their first ever disc golf competitive round, or people just practicing to improve their disc golf skills in general. And since they either don't consistently do this routine or they have no routine at all, it's really hard for them to consistently produce results on the disc golf course. For myself, in order to refocus before every shot, I focus on a bunch of different things. One, I do a practice warm-up shot to kind of warm up my body, loosen it up before I throw. The next thing I check is my aiming point. Similar to what Avi said earlier, I like to pick a point or imagine a hula hoop in the sky and what angle I want to hit it on. And then I kind of take a deep breath and throw. And so I do this every single shot, whether it's an up shot, a shot off the tee, and even a putt in some cases, in order to kind of have this consistent routine and believe that I can do the shot that I'm about to do.
Yeah, so I really notice a difference with having a routine in especially more like competitive play. What I like to do, I like to check my run up beforehand, make sure I'm not going to slip, so when I'm about to throw, I feel confident with committing to the shot, picking an aiming point. If it's super windy, I'll check the wind. If it's windy, just taking a deep breath, making sure you're relaxed before you throw. I feel like that really could help a lot of people. So hopefully you can implement some of these tips in your routine, and hopefully it'll help you become a better disc golfer.
All right, guys, that kind of does it for this video. Those were 5 tips to hopefully help you become a better disc golfer today. Thanks for Avi coming out, really high rated pro, so hopefully his professional level tips can help you become the disc golfer that you want to be.
Yep, thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Chris for having me. If you don't know, Chris owns a disc golf store called Disc Zone. Make sure to go check them out. They have a huge variety of discs, collectibles, used discs, also pretty good prices. And yeah, make sure to go check them out. Hopefully you'll find a disc that you can implement all these shots with. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.